Hi, I'm hoping that we haven't met and that to you I am a stranger. And I'm a strange one at that. And I'd like you to think for a moment about what you feel about strangers. Because strangers, when you get to know them, can become friends. They can become encouraging partners. They can become a foil to your thoughts. They can provide a different way of thinking, a new perspective. So these strangers in our lives, they can add value, they can connect with us, they can shift how we think about things. Yet we're taught in some ways and circles to avoid encountering strangeness. And there's a part of our minds that avoid it like the plague. And there's another part of our mind that craves it, that wants that strange new idea, that that creative component that can add value to our lives. So, how do you feel about strangers? Are they scary? Do you want to run? Do you want to fight? Do you freeze up when you're around strangers, or do you get curious? Do you begin to wonder, what could we talk about? What might we have in common? Where do the parameters of our lives overlap? And if you look for those kind of things, you'll probably find them. So, strangers are fascinating. And in this world of ours, we get to know people through these symbols of words. And these words begin to convey stories. And in the telling of a story, we find little places in our own minds where they match up to similar stories in our own lives. And this pattern gives us an insight into who another person is. It allows us to kind of step into their world, their vision, their paradigm of being, so that we can experience at some level their life, their perspective. And that's the amazing thing about being human and being a stranger, is that over time we get to know someone. We get to know who they are and their persona, their ego, their actions, their behaviors, and we get a feel for who they are. And yet, oftentimes we need to reevaluate who a person is because they exhibit a piece of behavior, or we learn something about them, or we just have an experience where it puts into question a lot of things. We may think we know someone's political party, and suddenly we find out that they are leaning in a different direction. We may believe we understand a person's faith, and then come to understand that they believe something different than we do, or maybe they believe the same things, but just use different words to describe it. We may think that they eat the same things that we do, but they have an allergy that keeps them eating something very different. So people are different, and we all come at life from a different way. And I don't like pain, and I like things to feel good in my life, and I don't want to cause pain to others. So this leads me to this program of wanting to enhance pleasure for the long term, so that I'm not seeking short-term gains that might harm myself or other people. I'm looking for those long-term gains that can not only enhance me and my life, but can enhance other people and their lives too. And I think that this kind of creating this garden of opportunity can create a small community of people that care about each other, encourage each other, and connect with each other. And we live in such a fast-paced world that I wonder if it's possible for people to slow down and take a deeper look at things. And instead of, talking about the surface, really dig down and connect with things that are meaningful, to seek out the profound insights of life and hear the stories. Give someone a chance to really express more than just the surface. Allow them the time to dig down into their emotional being so that they can express a truth or an insight or something. So I read this book. It's called Range. It's by David Epstein. And it talks about exploring life broadly. And I really like this. It was kind of a different take on how to learn. And I wondered if I could find a few people who were curious about looking life in a deeper way, getting at the roots and taking the time to slow down and communicate about these things. So I was thinking about starting kind of like a book club or something, but instead of doing, a book a month and talking about it a little bit, I was thinking about doing a slow read, just taking a book and really diving into it chapter by chapter, quote by quote, and going deep into it. And in reading this book, and I started reading other books that related to the topic, and I just got enraptured in this idea that perhaps there's a way to create more joy in my life. And in this exploration, maybe a small group of people could get together and find out what creates joy in their lives as well. And I'm not looking for people to be on board to what I like. I'm looking for people who are willing to explore to find out what they like. And that's why I would like to find a bunch of strangers who are willing to be strange and experiment and do new things and to, taste new tastes, try new foods, try new hobbies, try new friends, and see what fits for you. We live in a world of specialization where people dive deep into things. We live in a world where parents are trying to encourage their children to become superstars at age 3 to get them into something. And I think that this book, Range, talks about something different from that. It's about developing a critical consciousness that polymaths like Thomas Jefferson or Ben Franklin, who had expansive experiences and used that widened perspective to inform their lives and decisions so that they could make better choices. And I think they had fun. I think they really knew how to, do things that brought them joy and added meaning and purpose to their lives. And so that's what I'd like to do. And I'm hoping that this sparks your interest and you would be interested in doing something like this too. So thanks for taking your time with a stranger. And I hope that we get to know each other better. Looking forward to hearing how you've taken this. Enjoy it all. My name is Brian.